Do you go Requiem for a Dream or do you go Dungeons and Dragons?
I think Requiem for a Dream was slightly less upsetting for me to watch than Dungeons and Dragons.
Guys, new console.
What?
There's
a
console?
new console. The
No, there
Wii
isn't.
U.
Okay, you were going that direction. I was gonna go. No, there isn't a new console.
There's a new controller.
There's a new controller. We got half a press conference.
Do you really?
The front half.
Do you really mind that we don't know what it looks like? Do you really mind?
I don't care.
I don't care.
You know what? Yes, a little bit. I was thinking about this, and the thing that bothered me, I overall am feeling pretty good about the PlayStation 4. I
Thought it was a strong announcement.
I think it looks pretty good. I think it was a strong announcement with what they announced, and this is going to seem like the most weird, nitpicky approach to things. It worries me that what they're showing off is like, here's our controller. We're not done with the box yet. And then their developers coming out and they're like, here's the head of a man using an engine that we have. And then there's
David Cage.
and then you know, Square Enix comes out and they're like, we have a very big announcement to make. We will be announcing a new Final Fantasy game at E3.
Okay,
and then Destiny Bungie guys come out and they stand there and what bothers me about it is there's limited pageantry. You know, and
That bothers you?
There are.
Really?
I like that there wasn't as much pageantry. It kind of reminded me of Sony's CES press thing that way, where it's like, if we don't have something, we're not going to bring out somebody to like dance and sing for you. But there are things that you show. There are concrete things that we saw. There are concrete things that we know about the platform. And then like dudes like Square, dudes like Bungie come out just to let you know, like, hey, you're safe buying this thing because we're doing something for it. I don't really need them to show. I've seen what they have to show of Destiny. We know they have nothing to show. But it's cool that it's coming for the PS4, you know?
Yeah.
People complaining about them not showing the console. I mean, Nintendo didn't show the Wii U console when they first unveiled it either. Remember, people were like, what does this thing actually look like? And then we saw how like long it was and everybody was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
They showed off like a prototype of the gamepad or something, I think, but that was it.
I think, you know, from my perspective, I know a lot of people were a little worried about not seeing the box. As long as the specs are nailed down, and I know what the games look like, and I know that the controller is comfortable in my hand, like Sony, all they do is they make boxes for shelves. Like that's like what they do. Just go make a new box for the shelf. I'm gonna buy it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Consoles are ugly.
There's something exciting about seeing. I mean, well, the PS3 Slim, kind of ugly. A little bit ugly.
Oh, I have the fat one, and I wish I had the slim.
The fat one's okay. There's the slim, and then there was the ultra slim.
Yeah.
The ultra slim I think was ugly. I like the slim. I think it's a wonderful machine.
I can see why they showed off only the controller so far because they are sort of harping on like the individual now, which is funny because when they started that whole spiel, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be like all motion control and stuff. And it really like, they didn't really talk about that kind of stuff at all much. But I do think the controller is really cool. I'm sort of disappointed that the analog sticks are still where they are because that's what I hate about the DualShock 3 controllers. But as like the share button, the fact that there's a USB on the back, the fact that there's a headphone jack, I think all of that is really awesome. And they still haven't even sort of explained how the whole touchpad thing is going to work.
I think that's because I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say we're not going to like that touchpad very much. Owning a Vita and all the stuff that they kind of bolt on to make that touchpad happen, I hope they use it less. That's all.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope it's not required for games.
I'll tell you what, that share button I was scared about. I was all like, if you push that and Twitter comes up, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And then it came up and it was like, oh, gameplay clips.
Yeah.
I can dig this.
Yeah.
But can you email it to yourself? Or can you only publish it online from there? That's what I was wondering about, because I think it's a really cool feature for us, you know, people in the media who have to constantly capture gameplay footage, which is a huge pain in the ass.
Oh man,
but
imagine
if I can only post it to YouTube, then what's the point?
Imagine the issue they're gonna have with leaks.
Oh,
oh my gosh, that's gonna be crazy. But as far as other stuff we saw, you mentioned David Cage's demo, which I thought was hilarious because, well, sure, of course you can render a really good-looking face. You're not rendering anything else right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful,
Yeah.
but I thought it was so funny that David Cage came out and was like, this is the best technology we have. And then Media Molecule came out with a notepad, and I fell in love with Media Molecule.
Yeah. No, it's like, I mean, Yeah, it's like the people who could do really, really realistic drawings of stuff with like a ballpoint pen or with with graphite, and you're like, that's very realistic. It has no soul. You traced a photograph which was captured with a machine. Like, congratulations, David Cage, you made an old man's head look like an actual old man's head. There's no magic there.
Yeah.
Also, old
It's
people
very
scare
technological. Yeah, exactly.
So that's not what I wanted to see.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good demonstration of like the wrinkles and like cracks and stuff.
No, it was as an object to use for testing, like the wispy hair and all the wrinkles. and the lighting.
The hair is impressive there.
So spec-wise, some people were like, "What are the specs enough? Are the specs gonna be like? Is this enough for us? What about the optical drive? Like, there are definitely details still missing.
Yeah,
right?
they gave a very general overview of that.
There's a lot we don't know. Like, there's a whole lot we don't know here. There's something I noticed, and we know that Destiny is going to be a big online thing. It has to be online all the time. And one thing I caught in the Watch Dogs trailer is Watch Dogs has been very quiet about the online aspect of it. And it's a game about a city that's entirely online.
Yep.
And in the gameplay demo they showed, it was like, oh hey, Pixel FD is using, that's one of the frag dolls. It's her friend Evelina. Anyway, she's just up there using one of the security cameras, and he like sort of hacks into that. Why is she there? What is that?
We saw that companion app, right, on the
Right.
iPad. So we know at least that she could at least be hacking cameras and traffic lights and stuff as he's doing that on her iPad. And there was a lot of talk about companion mobile apps without a lot of things being shown. But I am wondering about.
Is this like an MMO sandbox game? Like,
I don't think so.
They are pushing the whole online thing, though. I mean, I thought the Gaikai stuff was actually some of the most interesting stuff at the press conference.
This
about
is
how
cool.
you'll be able to like play a game as soon as you download it, and then they'll have all this predictive software that decides like, I mean, I guess that's sort of like what Netflix does with their like suggested videos or whatever, but the fact that you'll be able to like look at something and immediately start playing it is really awesome. I think that's going to help their business model
If you
a lot.
get that as good as Netflix is at recommending things, I'm going to be a happy camper. I don't like the idea of automatically downloading stuff, and I hope that's a switch you can flip, because there are a lot of people that have home bandwidth caps. And can you imagine it downloading 10 4-gig demos for you over the space
But
of
it's
a month?
I think it streams them.
It's
is
going to
the
be all
idea.
Gaikai.
Yeah.
It's all Gaikai.
That's
so it's
true.
not like if it knows that you want to buy a game, my impression was that if it knows you want to buy a game, it's going to pre-download it for you.
That's what they made it sound like in the presentation. I think a lot of that will just be done in the background with cloud streaming. So it'll find the videos that you want and then show them to you, and then you would be able to do it like you would if you were playing a game that you own.
So let's talk about this Gaikai thing, because we've all, you guys have come over to my place before and we messed around with OnLive a little bit. And
it feels weird. It's a weird feeling thing.
It feels a little weird. Like, it looks good enough, the way a YouTube video or Netflix looks good enough, but you lose some of that fidelity. People are worried about lag. I noticed it when we played a shooter and we played a fighter, and those were terrible.
Yeah.
Those
I
were
had
terrible.
really bad graphics every time I've tried to, which granted is only once or twice, play like a demo on OnLive. That was maybe a year ago or so, but I don't know how many strides will be taken in that arena before the PS4 actually comes out.
I think it's brilliant in terms of technology, but in terms of like American internet infrastructure, that's a big leap to take.
I mean, the idea makes sense.
Everyone said that this doesn't feel like the biggest leap in terms of what they're actually showing us, and it's, graphically it's like, okay, it looks like a fancy PC, which makes sense because the PS3 was getting kind of old there. And I think that the big leap here is going to be the cloud stuff and this kind of the idea of like a streaming game, or figuring out some way to sort of get a workflow for whatever your machine is doing there, so that you can play a game when you want to play it, like to have an instant.
And I mean, I am intrigued.
I think they're playing with this. If you look at the PS Plus now, they've got like it's a subscription-based service.
I love PS Plus.
Yeah, and
I love it.
Well, it explains why they were giving us so many nice things, because they're taking them all away. But it's like, you pay for a subscription fee, and they're like, hey, this month, this game is free. They had Sleeping Dogs free for like a month, and I'm like, that came out a few months ago, and that's a game you can play for free. You don't get to keep it, but you can play it.
Yeah.
You can sure as hell beat it.
I also think the cross-play stuff with Vita is also really awesome.
I
don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy. I'm genuinely saying this now. I saw that and I feel bad being the guy who always rags on the Wii U. And that's usually something you say when you don't really mean that. You say that to protect yourself. I hate to be the guy that rags on this, but I genuinely do hate to be the guy that rags on this now because I feel like I've been doing it forever.
You're just tired of it. You want to take it.
But the Vita and the PS4, well, that just kills the gamepad. As far as I'm, that just kills the gamepad.
Yeah.
But it's also something else that you have to buy in addition to the PS4.
I already own it, suckers! I'm one of 12
dude.
people! I'm one of 12 motherfuckers who happily owns that thing.
I'm one of the other 12 motherfuckers.
It's us and 10 dudes we know.
Actually, my girlfriend has one.
9 dudes we know.
1/4 of the motherfuckers who have a Vita.
You guys are single-handedly the reason that Sony is still in business.
So here's the thing that I didn't see that I wanted to see, and all 12 Vita owners will agree with me. I wanted to see the streaming go the other way. I want to play Gravity Rush and Persona 4 on my fucking television when I'm at home. And I wish Vita games would stream to my PS4.
Well, they haven't said that they won't.
They haven't said that they won't, but they didn't announce that they will. They only announced the other way. I would love that.
That would be awesome, actually. That would essentially be like the Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. That would be a nail in a coffin.
Can we agree that the Wii U looks not next gen?
Not unless we want to spend a day in YouTube comments. So
Okay.
no, we're not.
We didn't say that.
Yeah, we didn't say that. Other things, the BattleNet, the potential BattleNet partnership.
Oh.
So Portal 2 comes out, and we get Steam integration on the PS3, and then apparently behind the scenes, both of those guys were just like.
Yeah.
Now Blizzard.
I mean, Blizzard has been wanting to bring Diablo 3 to consoles for a while. I don't know if it'll work for any of their other games. I don't see World of Warcraft working on consoles, and that's a whole other issue because there's, PC servers everywhere, but I mean, it makes sense for Diablo 3.
Really?
I knew that was gonna happen, yeah.
You did?
I interviewed the lead console director like a year ago.
Yeah, that's right. They had that.
So-
I think it was such a big, hilarious, just screw you to everybody. I think that it was. Literally, the hardest I have laughed since I saw that supercut of goats screaming was when they announced Diablo 3 on PlayStation 4.
Of all their games, of all the things they have,
And nobody applauded.
Diablo 3.
I was laughing my ass off. I was cackling.
So, but get this.
Because they were like, they kind of just came out and they're like, I know. We're not usually on consoles, but we are a console game, and they just list a bunch of their old stuff, and we're like...
Do you remember, he listed Blackthorn, which came out in 1996.
Yeah.
You can't just say Blackthorn. I was like, I wish I had been in the audience so I could have been like, StarCraft Ghost. That's what tell us about StarCraft Ghost, buddy.
People wanted that. People wanted, Titan. We want to know,
So, from a like looking at it from a behind closed doors, dudes in suits and ties perspective, like, you want to make PC gamers interested because Steam is about to eat everybody's lunch more and more and more and more. Especially now, like all I heard when they were saying common PC architecture is, why don't I just fucking build a PC?
Yeah.
Now? So they wanted to get in bed with somebody who wasn't Steam that would give them a bridge to these PC gamers. And then Blizzard wants to be on a console, but they want to put too much of an investment in it. So why don't we put this game out that got kind of like lukewarm mixed reactions, and see if we can boost those sales, get that development money
So
back.
there was a pretty good little thing on 4chan where they basically pointed out pretty much everything they didn't like about Diablo 3 and pointing out how they thought that it was just PC release was just a beta test for the console version.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you look at it, a lot of the elements of Diablo 3 were streamlined compared to the previous ones, and it was pretty much like, PC gaming is the superior master race,
Sure.
and it's just.
I doubt Blizzard would fuck over their fans like that because their fans are all PC gamers, Like that's their audience.
Mm-hmm. No, I think everybody's just everybody who owns their own platform is looking for alliances against Steam. I think that's really what it is. It's because they're gaining such a market share, and they're doing everything so right in comparison.
And they're
to
so
everybody
nice,
else.
so
They're
they must be
nice.
destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing so well for the end user. How can we take them out of the equation? Was there anything that Is there anything that like blew your mind? I was really into The Witness. Was there anything that like?
I wasn't all that like impressed by the games. Knack didn't really do it for me. A lot of the stuff we had already seen before.
Demo.
Yeah, and I'm not into the Killzone franchise all that much. So
PlayStation 4 now with more objects in it.
I love that
More
it was just
shapes.
like, how many corridor shooters can we show you?
Yeah.
In the space of an hour and a half?
I was bummed out by no new IPs. You know, I mean, Killzone, Shadowfall, and Infamous.
Well,
Knack. We're all gonna be wearing Knack T-shirts and buying Knack Happy Meals in 6 months. Knack the movie.
Knack the movie will happen.
Knack the movie.
I don't like the new
Jimmy Neutron and Knack. Think about it.
I want to say I'm excited about a new thing. I'm looking forward to the future. I think it's fun when there's new things, and I know that no matter when I say something that's remotely negative, someone's going to jump down my throat about how I am being too negative.
But if you say something remotely positive, people are going to say that you're in
Full of
somebody's
shit.
pocket.
Who is paying this guy off? I don't like the naming conventions for the new Killzone, Shadowfall, Infamous Second Son. That is dumb.
Dude,
that
can
is
we talk
stupid.
about that guy? Can we talk about that guy coming out and like, I was tear gassed, and we're living in a slave state.
Yeah.
And everybody's watching us all the time. But what if we had superpowers?
Have we
Okay, kid getting beaten up on the playground.
Yeah.
What if we did have superpowers?
Yeah.
I was so ready for a Watch Dogs thing, and then he was like, no, it's Infamous.
Yeah.
Because superpowers. And I was like, okay, move on. Move on, dramatic
down.
lighting.
Yeah.
Get out of here, everybody.
They need to wrap it up music for guys like him.
At the same time, at least he was, but like the Destiny guys came out, and it was like they all reminded me of that episode of 30 Rock where she asks like Alec Baldwin to act in something, and he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. What if I just held? What if I just held 2 coffee mugs? Would that work?
The two things I have to say about the Destiny presentation is
there was no
first
presentation.
Of all, there was the Destiny is this wonderful new elegant world that is the changing of everything. It is the evolution of entertainment. It will change the way we look at shooters. I play video games because they are not reality, and they showed me a video of a bunch of fucking human beings talking to me in English on Earth. Videos of humans is not the thing I want to see. Some guys they're not showing me magic. They're not blowing me away with this new game. They're having people tell me about making the new game. And I'm totally okay with watching behind the scenes developer stuff. But when someone tries to sell me something by just having developers talk about it, it's exactly what I don't care about anymore.
Listen to me very carefully. Take Master Chief, and then you put a fucking cape on him. And if that doesn't make you happy, you have no soul. Fucking capes, dog.
I'm okay with the capes. The capes are next gen
right,
shit.
the capes are next gen shit.
The second
Destiny.
The second part
10
of Destiny,
years.
Second part of Destiny?
Yeah.
When those 4 dudes came out and they're standing there on the stage and it just says Destiny behind them, they look like a soft rock group.
Do you think
called Destiny?
When the email
They look like
Journey, like a modern Journey.
They look like an alternate reality aging prog rock band.
When the email went out, do you think the email said we should all match, or do you think the email said we all shouldn't match? And who do you think didn't listen? Because they almost matched. Who didn't pay attention? So no, but like, I think it was a strong presentation. I think we got as much information as we can expect before E3 and before Microsoft budges and says anything. Yeah. I was really happy with the presentation. I'm gonna buy a PS4, guys. Secrets. I'm gonna buy one.
Dude, I have a Vita.
Out.
I have to justify buying a Vita.
Yeah. I don't know. How did you guys feel about it overall?
I was impressed. You know, I like that there wasn't a whole lot of like fanfare and like flashy presentations. I felt like the game showings could have been a little bit better, but I think we'll probably have to wait until E3 to see better stuff like that. But with the hardware, I was really pleased. I'm glad to see that they're sort of migrating to PC architecture.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but the buttons, the face buttons on the controller are slightly flatter from what I can tell in the pictures. I'm sold. They're a little like slightly flatter.
Less bevel.
Yeah. They're like the Wii U Pro controller kind of. That one has really flat D-pad.
Except it won't feel like it was made for $3.
Yeah.
It won't feel like a Walgreens video game controller.
Well, I'm out of beer, so I'll see you guys at E3.
All right.
All right.
Yep. Nice having you.
All right.